Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Kelly Craft, filling in today for Ted Rollins. Our focus this hour is in Memphis, Tennessee. It is day 4 of testimony in the Baby in the River murder trial. Defendant Brandon Isabelle faces 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of his girlfriend, Danielle Hoyle, and their 2-day-old daughter, Kennedy. Prosecutors say Isabelle lured Hoyle to a secluded area, shot her, then tossed the infant in the Mississippi River. Let's go back into the courtroom now. The audio in the interrogation video was a bit hard to understand, so we've jumped ahead a bit, and now we're getting ready to listen to Memphis Police Lieutenant Charles Winbush. He's on the stand.
Do you know when Mr. Isabelle was arrested?
Maybe sometime around, it was February 2nd, sometime that morning.
A really early morning.
Maybe.
And was he taken to homicide?
To my knowledge, should have been taken to homicide.
Were you at his house when he was arrested?
No.
You came in to homicide though to talk with him?
Yes.
Okay. What time did you get to homicide?
Oh, that morning.
The wee hours of the morning, or?
It was closer to maybe around 7 sometime that morning, something around there.
And while you were arriving, was he in that room in homicide waiting on you?
Should have been.
Okay. And I noticed his hands were cuffed, right?
Correct.
And there was a bench in that room, it seemed, that was across the table from you and Officer Boyd, that he was on.
Yes.
The bench is about, it looked to be very wide.
It had decent width.
Just made for comfort, is it?
Wide enough for him to lay on.
Yeah. And I noticed that his legs seemed to be shackled to the wall.
No, shackled to the bench.
Shackled to the bench.
Yes.
I just wondered why it was sticking out like that. Did he have room
to move?
It was right at the first, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had moved. He had enough room to lay down.
And when you came in to talk with him, was you were going to ask him questions?
Correct.
Interrogate him?
Interview.
Interview him. Okay, that's a nicer word, ain't it?
Yes, but that's what I do.
Okay. And do you want a person that you are interviewing to believe you?
Do I want them to believe me?
Mm-hmm. You want them to believe you're being straight with them?
It don't matter if they believe me or not, because they know.
That's, well, do you get any training in how to interview people?
I have not.
No training at all in any particular type of technique?
I mean, I guess you could say the course of my career is training, but to go to a certain school, I never did.
On the job training?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the REID technique, R-E-I-D?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay. And that's a method of interrogation, is it not?
From what I've heard, but I've never had that training.
But you've never studied it at all?
No.
Okay. Well, when you were asking Brandon questions, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a confession? That's your purpose, to get him to confess?
The purpose is to get him to tell me what happened.
Okay. And that, in your view, is to confess?
It depends on what happened.
Okay. And does that mean that you have him tell you what happened, or do you tell him what happened?
It's a conversation between the person and I.
I'm sorry, man.
It's a conversation between the person and I, so in that case it would be a conversation between Brandon and I.
that conversation, are you looking for
Fact.
truth?
Obviously looking for the truth.
Well, did you already know the truth?
Some of it.
When you started, we'll go back to the first. When you started, did you already know the truth?
No.
He was told that you knew what happened.
Of course.
Of course. Okay. So when you told him that you already knew what happened, you wanted him to believe that.
Well, when I told him I knew what happened, I didn't know if he would believe it or not.
Okay, but that was your purpose in telling him that. You wanted him to believe that you already knew what had happened, and you were giving him a chance to say it.
Yes.
Okay. But that wasn't true, was it?
Not all. I didn't know everything that happened, no.
And when you started talking with him, I noticed you gave him his advice of rights.
Correct.
Was he being cooperative?
Yes.
And you read his advice of rights, or had him read it?
Yes.
And what did his advice of rights basically say?
He could talk to us if he wants to, and if he don't, he doesn't have to.
Okay. But he didn't have to waive his rights to talk with you.
If I was going to ask accusatory questions, yes, he had to raise his wife.
But I mean, he had the choice. He could say, no, I'm not going to
Yes, he had the choice.
But he didn't do that, did he?
He did not.
Talk with you.
He did.
And when you wanted to search his phone, you would have had to get a warrant to search that phone, wouldn't you?
Correct.
But he told you, I consent, go ahead and search my phone.
Correct.
So he was being cooperative.
Yes, he was.
But he wasn't saying the things that you wanted him to say yet, was he?
Hey, everything you said, I wanted him to say.
He wasn't saying the things that you guys were telling him.
What did we
You
tell
want to
him?
go back through all these things? You know, when you said you threw him in the river, you did. How many times was he told he was lying?
A lot.
A lot. How many times was he told that you threw the baby in the river?
I haven't counted, but it was a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let me rephrase that, because we asked him, did he toss the baby in the river? And once he said he did, then we stated that he did. But initially we asked him, did he throw the baby in the river?
Boyd was in there with you, wasn't he?
Some of the time, yes.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
He was coughing a lot. Was he sick?
I don't know.
It was during COVID, wasn't it?
I don't know if he was, I don't know if he was sick. I don't think I'm his doctor.
And the last part of the advice of rights was that no promises or threats, no pressure or coercion
Correct.
was what? Was put on him to sign this waiver of rights?
Correct.
Well, why is that important?
Because he has to do it of his own free will.
He has to do it of his own free will. And if he's doing it of his own free will, what is it, more reliable?
No, it just means we didn't force him to do it.
Okay. Because you didn't force him to. Why is that important?
Because if I forced him to do it, then that's not within the law. I can't force him to do anything.
You're forcing somebody to do something that wouldn't be within the law.
Correct.
And it wouldn't produce reliable results.
so still might be reliable.
Well, I noticed that at the time those advice of rights are given and signed, and when he's saying I haven't been under any pressure or coercion or promises made or threats, well, the questioning hadn't started yet, had it?
It can't start until then.
Well, you did this right at the first when you fixed to question a man on a homicide, right? You did the advice of rights first off.
Right first, so we could ask questions.
Okay. So all that about him saying he wasn't coerced or threatened or made promises, that was before you ever questioned him.
Right.
And that's where the threats or promises or coercion, that's where the real danger is, isn't it?
Not necessarily.
In the statement itself. It's an easy one.
I'm not sure I understand the question, but Judge, maybe clarify.
Is there an objection?
The danger of the coercion.
Objection. I don't think the witness understood the question.
Well, thank you. The danger of coercion coming into play and producing a statement that isn't reliable, that comes during questioning, doesn't it?
It could.
And what this advice of rights is for is to prepare him for the questioning, right?
Yes.
And to protect you.
Yes.
We're going to have more testimony from the Baby in the River murder trial in Tennessee for Brandon Isabelle when we come back. Stay with us. You're watching Court TV.
Tonight, on closing arguments, a University of Kentucky cheerleader faces charges after her infant was found dead in a closet. We will bring you the latest from today's big hearing.
Closing arguments tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
The brutal murders of 2 young girls.
Delphi is not one of those places where this would happen.
I killed Abby and Modine.
Victim to Verdict with Ted Rowlands. Season premieres Saturday night, 8 Eastern and Pacific.
Only on Court TV.
Back now to Memphis, Tennessee, where the state's case continues in the Baby in the River murder trial. This is for defendant Brandon Isabelle. Isabelle is accused of fatally shooting the mother of his child and then throwing their 2-day-old baby in a river, all on his 25th birthday. Prosecutors say Isabelle confessed to the murders, but now he's pleading not guilty to the charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder. We have been listening to the cross-examination of Memphis Police Lieutenant Charles Winbush. Let's go back into the courtroom for more.
Well, why is it important that threats aren't used?
Say that again.
Why is it important that threats are not used?
Because if you threaten somebody, it's possible that they'll say it just to avoid the threat.
Pretty much when it started, I noted that he was told he would be dodging dicks for the next 50 years. How is, if he didn't talk to you, he didn't tell you what you wanted to hear?
No, it wasn't said like that. No, it was, that statement was said. It wasn't said by me. But that statement was said.
It was said in your presence. We watched it up here, right?
Right.
Jury saw it, right?
Yeah, I said it was said. It just wasn't said by me.
Was that pressure?
It could be.
Would you agree that this is a fair statement? One of the things that people fear about prison is being raped. A man.
Reasonable people, I think, have that fear.
That's big. And that's what he was told. He was going to be dodging dicks. That's what was meant. by that statement, was it not?
He said he could be.
He was told, was he not, that there were cameras out there. And there were some cameras, weren't there?
He had cameras all over the city.
And the purpose of telling about those cameras was to make him believe he had been seen on camera.
Yes.
But there wasn't any cameras where you went to look for the baby, was there?
There were cameras there. I'm not sure if they were working.
Yeah, I believe we said earlier they weren't working. And so you wouldn't have seen him take the baby down to the river, would you?
No.
Because there wasn't a camera that was working there.
No, didn't see him take the baby down to the river.
But he was told that there was a camera,
He was.
and that wasn't true.
No, that was not true.
What about on Levi and Sedgwick, where Danielle's car was?
Yes.
He was told there were cameras there,
Yes.
but there weren't, was there?
I don't believe so.
So, in essence, you were telling him, we know what happened. There's cameras there. You've got to tell us this.
Yes.
And the this was, you told him what you wanted him to say.
I told him there were cameras there, so did I want him to say there were cameras there?
Was there any, and look, I'm going to concede something right here. Yours was much better than Boyd's, okay? Yours, you weren't as bad as him.
This is a question.
But, Boyd was worse than you were in the question.
So when an objection is made, it is customary for you to wait for me to rule on said objection after you've responded.
You're right.
So there's an objection.
This sounds like testimony and not a question, Judge.
And your response is?
I'm reworking it.
Thank you and sustain.
It wasn't you that said you'll be dodging dicks.
No, I didn't say that.
Was Mr. Isabelle told that people would be looking at him like he was an effing monster?
Yes.
How was he told that? How did that further your investigation?
I asked him how he wanted to be viewed. If he wanted to be viewed like a monster, was somebody with remorse.
Were there a lot of questions asked that didn't further the investigation as to who was responsible for the shootings and the debate? Were there questions asked?
Still with us, criminal defense attorney Jeffrey Wolf. Jeffrey, as we approach the top of the hour, we just wanted to bring you in one last time on this case. So, you know, the interrogation, he's asking about the interrogation tactics, and as you were talking about, you know, police can do that to see exactly, to try to get to the truth. How do you think defense counsel is doing so far on the cross-examination of the Memphis police officer?
Defense attorney's doing great, and just one little correction there, Kelly. I said they can get to what they want, which is a confession, rather than to get to the truth, because they're not always looking for the truth, as the defense attorney is pointing out. They're looking to get what they want to hear. Sometimes that is the truth. Other times it is merely a confession. False confessions are an epidemic in this country. They are one of the top reasons for wrongful convictions in this country. I am not, by any way, shape, or form, ascribing that to this case. We do not know if that is the circumstance in this case. But we do know that false confessions are a major problem in this country, and one of the reasons that they are a problem in this country is interrogation tactics like occurred in this case. And this defense attorney is doing a masterful job of pointing out the tactics that were done in this case and getting this detective to own the fact that they were done in this case. This detective is having a very tough job explaining why they did that. Things like saying that he is going to be chased down by morally reprehensible that these detectives did to this young man in this case, whether he committed this crime or not. The things that happen to people in prison and the rapes are not things that should be shown and thrown in the face of criminal defendants in this country.
Jeffrey, thank you so much for your insight on this topic. Appreciate you joining us. Have a good weekend. We're going to have more testimony from the Baby in the River murder trial in Tennessee for Brandon Isabelle when we come back. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott, of course, honored to be with you. Our Court TV cameras are in Memphis this hour, bringing you the Baby in the River murder trial of Brandon Isabelle. Isabelle is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the 2022 deaths of his girlfriend, Danielle Hoyle, and their newborn baby, Kennedy. Prosecutors say he lured Hoyle to a secluded area, shot her, and then tossed the infant into the river. He has pleaded not guilty and faces up to life in prison without parole. Let's go back into court together now, where Lieutenant Charles Winbush is facing cross-examination by the defense.
They weren't directed toward finding the baby or whether or not he committed these offenses.
Yeah, there's no question of that.
Would it be fair to say that at times Officer Boyd's questions and statements were a bit over the top?
I don't think so.
It's okay to tell him he's got some difference? It's okay to tell him that?
I mean, it's a reality that could be there.
So that would scare him.
It could.
And scare him into saying what you were, particularly what he is the truth.
It could scare him into telling us the truth, yes, it could.
How long did you guys question him?
It was several hours.
7 hours?
Several.
Several? More like 10?
No, I don't think it was 10.
Think about it a little bit.
Did we question him for 10 hours, or was he there for 10 hours?
Well, okay, was he there in that room for 10 hours?
For the most part, yeah, we did take him to the boat dock, so he wasn't in the room at that time. But we had him somewhere around 10 hours.
And he had been in that room while he was waiting for you to arrive.
Yes.
Do you know of any interrogation that was done of him then?
No, there wasn't any.
And that would have, when he arrived, would have been the early morning hours of February 2nd?
Yeah, sometime around that time. Yeah, February 2nd.
Well, the reason I asked that, I'm trying to figure him, to just assume that he got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. We can make it later if you want. Let's assume he got up at 8 o'clock. How many hours would he have been up when you were asking questions?
A long time.
A long time. Is a person able to be influenced more when they're tired like that? Influence to tell your truth.
Influence to tell the truth.
The truth.
The truth. Not my truth. The truth.
Well, if that were so, I mean, I'm not trying to argue with you, but a little bit I am. Because he told you something at the very start, and you didn't accept it.
I didn't.
So it was your truth you were wanting to hear, not what he was saying.
I didn't want to hear what he said. I wanted to hear the truth. There's a difference.
How did you know the truth when you were starting this interrogation?
Because at that time, I knew Danielle was no longer with us. And he said he met her and that she left, and he didn't know where she was, which was not the truth.
You didn't know that at the time.
I did know that at that time.
You knew that he was responsible for it?
No, I didn't know he was responsible for it. I knew he knew that he was no longer with us.
Okay, all right. So you were trying to get him to say then that he was responsible for the person that was shot?
I was trying to get him to tell me the truth, whether he was responsible or somebody else was responsible.
And he was told that the only thing that could save him was to tell the truth.
He was told that.
Save him from what? All those 50 years of death?
Not necessarily. It could save him from whatever his imagination would come up with.
Going to stop until you got him to say what you wanted to hear, were you?
I was going to stop once we found the baby until it was realized we weren't going to find the baby.
Did he get time to rest?
Yes.
When he got time to rest, was he on that little bench?
Yes.
With his hands and feet shackled?
Yes.
True that he wouldn't stop, the yelling at him was not going to stop until he said what you wanted to hear.
That's not true.
What was it going to stop?
How much yelling was done? We didn't yell at him the whole time.
Yell at him the whole time?
I said we did not yell at him the whole time. Most of the time it was a simple conversation. There was a little yelling in there, and there was a little emphasis put in there, but it wasn't a constant yelling.
You weren't as bad about it as your partner was, boy.
Wasn't bad about what?
Yelling.
Say that.
How tall are you?
6'3".
6'3"?
Yeah.
Boy, up there to me. And look, you're in pretty good shape.
Decent.
Physical shape.
Decent.
Would you consider that you may be an intimidating presence?
Well, I don't know.
What about boys? You about the same size?
No, boys is a little smaller.
He's small. He's small but loud.
Loud, yes.
Isabelle kept saying that he left the baby at the river And that wouldn't be what you want to hear, right?
We wanted the truth. Because from the moment he told us he took the baby to the river, we had people at the river searching for the baby.
And so you didn't accept that he had taken, I think it was at the gate, left the baby at the gate? Was that?
A little bit past the gate.
A little bit past the gate.
That was what he originally said.
And was it you or Boyd that kept saying, did you put the baby in the water?
Initially, I think it's Boyd. I think so.
I believe you're right. So, what you were wanting to hear was where the baby was, I guess.
Yes, we wanted the truth about what he did with the baby.
Well, you eventually said, well, I took the baby down toward the river. Right?
Yes.
And then, was it Boyd that started saying, you put the baby in the water?
Well, I think that question came after he said he placed the baby near the water, and then we started trying to figure out, did he get placed in the water?
Asked, did you hear the splash?
Yes, we did.
How many times did he say, you know you threw the baby in the river?
I don't know.
Much, right? Did he bear? No, that's not really a question, that's an accusation, isn't it?
Correct.
And so is that what your truth was that you all were looking for, as opposed to what he said? What you got him to say?
We were looking for the truth, not just what he said, because he said a lot of stuff that we know wasn't the truth.
All right, this cross-examination really attacking the officer to figure out exactly what he lied about, what he didn't lie about, because some viewing that interrogation video feel like they were beating up on him and really misleading him. The police are allowed to mislead. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, more testimony in the Baby in the River murder trial here on Court TV.
Tonight, on closing arguments, a University of Kentucky cheerleader faces charges after her infant was found dead in a closet. We will bring you the latest from today's big hearing.
Closing arguments tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
The brutal murders of 2 young girls.
Delphi is not one of those places where this would happen.
I killed Abby and Lodi.
Victim to Verdict with Ted Rollins. Season premieres Saturday night, 8 Eastern and Pacific.
Only on Court TV.
We'll get you back to the Baby in the River murder trial in Tennessee in just a moment. But first, we have an update on another trial that we are tracking, the plotting parents murder trial in Mississippi. Testimony wrapped up today in the case against the defendant, Jeffrey Spence. Both the prosecution and the defense have rested their cases. Spence is charged with capital murder for allegedly robbing and killing his daughter's boyfriend, Kirby Carpenter. Earlier today, another daughter, Carolyn, took the stand. She says her father was upset when he was unable to take out a $1 million life insurance policy on her husband.
Was he upset that they weren't allowed to get $1 million policy on Gio's life?
He just seemed flustered, like, you know, anytime we didn't agree with him, it was just, oh, well, you all are stupid. You know, I mean, so of course he was upset about it. We weren't agreeing with him.
Closing arguments are set to begin on Monday, and of course we'll bring it to you here on Court TV. Now let's go back to Memphis and the Baby in the River murder trial against Brandon Isabelle. The defendant stands accused of murdering his child's mother and then throwing their 2-day-old daughter, who was alive, in the Mississippi River more than 3 years ago. On the stand now is Lieutenant Charles Winbush, still under cross-examination by the defense. Let's go back in for more.
How would you know the truth when you weren't there?
Well, if you tell me that you did something and the person that you supposed to did it at the time you say you did it is unalive, then I know that's not the truth.
Digest that just a little bit. It seems the information that Mr. Isabelle gave you guys from the start was cooperated, right? He told you that they got threatening text.
They got what?
Got a threatening text.
Yes.
And he told you that he went to his mom with partition.
Yes.
And they gave the brother of Danielle Hall the address over to his mother and father's house.
Yes.
And that was cooperated with him.
Yes.
And he told you that Martisha had a handgun.
Yes.
Black and silver.
Yes.
Smith and Wesson. 40 cal.
I don't think he ever knew the caliber.
Okay, well you found it though, right?
Correct.
That was cooperated.
Yes.
Lion baseball bat.
Yes.
Machete type large blade in the car.
Oh, I never saw that.
But anyway, those things were cooperated.
They were.
The fact that he went over to Artesia's was cooperated.
It was.
The fact that he came back home was cooperated.
It was.
By that time, you already knew the truth. Is that right?
I knew part of it. I knew some truth.
I always heard half-truths were a really dangerous thing. Have you heard that?
That's why we kept going for the whole truth.
The baby's hat, was it found there at the program?
Yes.
Was it found before he said it was there?
Yes, I think so.
I think you're right. Was it found before you told him it was found there?
Yes.
And after that is when he told you the baby's hat fell off at the playground.
Yes.
What you told him, that the hat had been found down there. And you knew it was his. You knew that it was the baby's.
I told him that first.
That was going on pretty much before the first one. I mean, I know there was a long, long time he's being questioned, so where in that chain
So when we asked him what the baby was wearing, we asked him about the hat. Is that what you're...
I just want trying to get some timelines down to find out what he told you, who told you that first. You know, if you told him, then he told you. But if he just told you, pursuant to your investigation, asking questions, seeking the truth. No threats of coercion.
I don't recall specifically about that hat being... I know we talked about it. The hat was there because he eventually said it fell off her head when he was running down there with her.
And the timeline he told you about, that was corroborated as well, wasn't it?
No.
By GPS?
No, that's when I told him I knew where he was at certain times. Because at the first time, I told him his timeline was off.
GPS, what, works on the phone? Is that what?
It can if GPS is on the phone.
So GPS shows where the phone is?
At least, yes, at least the phone.
And where he told you he was consistent with the GPS, was it not?
Yes, some of them places.
Watching this today and even during it, let his head down like he was tired. Do you think he was tired during any of this?
No.
Well, I feel my biggest arc was about 32 hours, but if he got up at 8 in the morning the previous day. About 32 hours, is that about right? From 8 till 8:24, and then about till 2:30 or so the next day.
I don't know what time he got up.
So he hadn't been, he didn't have a lot of rest, did he?
I don't know. I don't know how much rest he had prior to coming in contact with me.
What a perfect time to bring in our guest trial attorney, Alexis Rosenberg. Alexis, always great to have you on. This cross-examination, I think, is fairly stereotypical or normal when cross-examining law enforcement who has conducted an interrogation of a defendant. In this particular case, he's asking things about how much rest had he gotten? Was he tired when he was there? Things to try to show the jury, I believe, that, listen, you can't really believe this confession because of these other factors.
Exactly. I mean, I think he's doing a really good job at doing that, as well as previously he was getting testimony about exactly what they were saying to this defendant during the interrogation. And in my opinion, when they were bringing up the rapes in prison, it's questionable as to whether they had crossed a line at that point. But showing that he was tired, it had gotten to a point that he just wanted to basically give in and tell them what they kept hammering him to try to get him to say.
And so tell me, how can you determine when the line is crossed? Because we watched during direct the interrogation video, and the law enforcement officer is cussing at the defendant, is aggressive with the defendant. We know they can mislead. We know they can flat out lie. Do you think a line was crossed or not?
Well, obviously the judge did not, because this testimony is being admitted in court. I think it's really teetering along the line. There's no evidence that they somehow hit him or physically assaulted him or something of that nature. And 10 hours isn't isn't really excessive either. I think that the technique with regard to what could happen to him in prison, I think it was a teetering. I think that it wasn't a good idea, but I don't think it, from a legal standpoint, crossed that line.
Yeah, I think you're right. The judge would have ordered it inadmissible if that were the case. Now, I will say that the defense has brought out that he was up for at least 36 hours during this questioning. Alexis, stand by. We do need to squeeze in a break. When we come back, of course, we'll bring you more testimony in the Baby in the River murder trial. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott. Let's take you to Memphis now for more of the Baby in the River murder trial. Brandon Isabelle is on trial for the murders of his newborn daughter and her mother. Prosecutors say that Isabelle lured Danielle Hoyle to an intersection and then shot her in the head. He then allegedly took their 2-day-old daughter, Kennedy, and threw her by her feet, her legs, into the Mississippi River. Let's go inside the courtroom now. The defense is questioning the officer. This is the officer who conducted the interrogation of Isabelle, and right now he's on cross-examination.
How do you know he told you that he threw the baby in the water? How do you know that's the truth versus he just wanted you to stop?
I still don't know if he ever threw the baby in the water.
Exactly. By this time, you'd already decided what the truth was. You already knew what you knew. You knew half the truth.
Half the truth about what?
Half the truth about whatever he was saying. You knew that things he told you had been cooperating.
Some of it.
A lot of it. There were some missing parts, though, weren't there?
Yes.
And those missing parts is where this interrogation was undone, wasn't it?
Because we want to find the baby. Is that what you're referring to?
I'm referring to the Levi Sedgwick scene. I'm referring to the photograph.
So Levi said, you saying there's missing parts from that? Levi and Cedric, you're saying that there's missing parts from that scene? Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to get an understanding of your question.
My question is, if you already knew that he was responsible for shooting her?
Yes, after he admitted to shooting her.
That was on into the interrogation where you were asking her, right?
Yeah, it was on into it, yes.
He'd already given you cooperating information. It was being cooperative before that.
He was.
From that area of question.
Okay.
You knew about Ortiz. Did you not while you were questioning him, the girlfriend?
What did I know about him?
No, I mean, you were kind of her.
Yeah, I knew about her.
And you knew that you were told she was upset.
Yes.
And she was upset about the situation that was going on with Brandon and his other women.
Yes.
And the women having children by him.
Yes.
Right. And you knew that he was in love with her.
Yeah, I knew they was in a relationship. I can't say I knew he was in love with her.
Okay. All right. I know that during the interrogation, during the interview, he was told that sometimes we let emotions get the better of us. Why was he told that?
Because sometimes people let the emotions get the better of them.
And when they let those emotions get the better of them, they react?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
And Brandon said in an interview with you that he was trying to get his life situation to work. That's this drama that we were talking about earlier, right?
Okay.
And that he was in a divorce,
yes,
child custody, child support,
yes,
and females didn't want him.
Yes.
That was our teacher, Bond.
Yes.
told you that this was nothing he planned on doing that day.
He did say that.
That he was thinking too fast and reacted.
He said that.
He also said, I believe, that it was not his intent to push the baby into the river.
He said that.
I think it was Officer Boyd that kept saying he threw the baby into the river then, was it not?
I think we both had our moments where we said he threw or tossed the baby in the river.
And that's what we said at the start of this cross-examination. He was told that many, many times. You threw the baby in the river. No matter what he said, you threw the baby in the river. Right? He told you something else, he said he was a liar.
Right, so at the beginning we asked, did you? And once he said he put the baby down there by the river, that's when did you put the baby in the river started.
Was that when you'd been up 30 hours or 32?
I don't know how long he was up.
Don't you think that has something to do with the reliability of what you're being told?
No, not about I want to hear the truth.
Question's been asked and answered multiple
Your
times.
objection is asked and answered. Your response, Mr. Massey?
Yeah, I can move on.
Withdrawn. Thank you.
But it's been asked a lot of times, but I'll move on. Thank you, sir. Any questions?
So what are you looking for when you have an interview with the...
Coming up, the lieutenant faces redirect by the state in the Baby in the River murder trial. As we go to break, an update on the search for a former soldier wanted for killing his 3 young daughters in Washington state. Officials now say that DNA tests confirm that remains found earlier this month are those of Travis Decker. His remains were found on a wooded slope on a mountain in central Washington. Get this, less than a mile from the campsite where the bodies of his daughters were found in June. A deputy found Decker's truck as well as the girls' bodies 3 days after Decker failed to return them to their mother's house. Autopsies found the girls had been suffocated. Now for my thoughts from the bench on this. I never get over the horror of a child death. I've seen too many in my career, but it's even harder when that death is at the hands of a parent. Travis Decker did the unthinkable. He killed his own 3 young, beautiful daughters, and now his remains have been found less than a mile from that campsite. So did he kill himself? Did he starve to death in the mountainous elements? We do know that his wife reported his mental health issues had worsened a year before he killed their children, and that he was unstable. Of course he was. These kinds of heinous crimes do not occur in a vacuum. Is it a blessing that he has died and do not need to spend time in our criminal justice system with resources, the time, money, and energy on prosecuting him and convicting him of these brutal murders, whether he took his own life or not? Of course, it's better. Justice is served, or is it? The mother had filed a petition seeking no overnight visits with their father, given his mental health issues and his living out of his truck for a period of time. If a court had restricted his visits to supervised visits only, this would have been prevented. Did our system fail these children? That is the next question to ask. Those are my thoughts from the bench. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Tonight, on closing arguments, a University of Kentucky cheerleader faces charges after her infant was found dead in a closet. We will bring you the latest from today's big hearing.
Closing arguments tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
The brutal murders of 2 young girls. Delphi is not one of those places where this would happen.
I killed Abby and Libby.
Victim to Verdict with Ted Rollins. Season premieres Saturday night, 8 Eastern and Pacific.
Only on Court TV.
Back now to Tennessee, where testimony is underway in the Baby in the River murder trial for Brandon Isabelle. He's charged with first-degree murder after prosecutors say he shot the mother of his child to death and threw their 2-day-old baby in a river, all on his 25th birthday. The officer who interrogated Isabelle is on the stand, and right now he's on redirect by the state. Let's go back in.
So what are you looking for when you have an interview with a defendant?
So once we start gathering facts that we can put against what we're being told, we're looking for the truth. We're looking for the truth that happened. So just like at the moment we had Brandon and Isabelle and they're talking to him, we're trying to get the truth. We also felt like another person could have been involved, which is the reason we asked him repeatedly, who else did you tell? Did you do this by yourself? Who put you up to this? Because we're trying to get the truth.
And when he gives you a story that's off, a little ridiculous, what do you usually do with that?
We keep going because we know that story is not true.
And do you have facts?
I already have facts that we can put against what he's saying. Without the facts, then we don't know.
So you confront him with facts?
Yes.
And when we're talking about the baby Kennedy down by the river, what did you know about the river when you started talking to him? What did y'all found by the river?
The baby's head.
And so is that why you confronted him about the river?
No, actually, that's where he told us he took it. Prior to, we saw an image that looked like his car head over that way from, I think, a RTCC camera. And that's why we were asking him down by there. And once he showed on the tablet that I had where he said he placed the baby, that's why we went to there to look for the baby.
And when you guys went down there, did you find the baby where he said he placed it?
No.
But you found what?
I had that the baby was wearing.
So did you guys feel like it was a great leap of logic that he may have thrown the baby in the river?
Yeah, once getting down there and seeing how the terrain was, as we were walking down there during the daytime, people were slipping, so we didn't think logically at night during that time somebody walking down there would be able to go, so we felt like he probably tossed it from around about where the hat was, or maybe a little bit, a step or two past it.
And do you look for things generally to corroborate, because Mr. Matthews was talking about corroboration, to corroborate what a suspect is telling you?
Yes.
And when he's telling you, I want to go to Levi Sedgwick, because what did you find at Levi Sedgwick?
Found Danielle's car along with Danielle.
And what had happened to Danielle?
Danielle had been murdered.
And what did you know about this defendant as it relates to Danielle that night?
That he was the last person that she met with. We knew that they met at the MAPCO. We knew that they left the MAPCO and went to that location.
Who was the first one to mention shooting Danielle?
He was. Brandon Isabelle, let me rephrase.
And do you remember what he told you about his gun?
Well, I know he said when he was explaining the story for the second time, and he said that he shot her, and we asked why. He said he didn't want the baby, and then he told us that he left the gun at Artisha's house. Once we did a search warrant on Artisha's house and we did not find the gun, so we knew that wasn't true, that he didn't leave the gun there. And then after questioning him some more about it, he eventually told us he threw it in the river.
And was the gun ever found?
No.
Was baby Kennedy ever found?
No.
Do you know about any shell casings or any other evidence that was found?
That was at the on Sedgwick, yes. Shell casings were found there.
Was that consistent with anything that you guys found in his car that was at Stacy?
Yes, found a holster in his car, found another Glock magazine in his car.
But no gun?
No gun.
And these things we're talking about, are these what we call corroboration?
Yes.
To make sure that what he's telling you actually did occur?
Yes.
And talking about his shoes, what did he tell you about his shoes that he's wearing?
He said he, after leaving Danielle, he went home and changed clothes. Changed his jacket, changed his shoes, put his shoes in the trunk of his car and left his jacket hanging in his closet.
What did he say about what might be on the shoes?
He said he was leaving the shoes in the car because of possible evidence that blood was on Danielle's blood was
and
on.
what did you find in his trunk at the car at Stacy?
The shoes he took off, the slides, Adidas slides with the blood on it.
Where did he tell you he went after he said he threw baby Kennedy in the river?
He went to Walgreens.
What did you find at Walgreens?
Found video of, well, no, didn't get the video of Walgreens. Found a receipt from Walgreens with things that he bought for Artisha.
What did he tell you he did with the things he bought for Artisha at Walgreens?
Took them to her house.
What did you find at her house?
The things he bought at Walgreens.
What did he tell you he did with the car seat that he took baby Kennedy out of before he threw her in the river?
Took it to Walmart. And left it by the dumpster.
Sorry. What did you find at Walmart?
The car seat.
And is that what you're looking for generally, is corroboration of what he's saying and getting to the truth?
Yes.
Are you aware Artisha was being interviewed at the same time? Is that right?
Correct.
I think you said that. She was also being interviewed for a long, long time, right?
Correct.
Did she confess to murder?
No.
Thanks, sir. I have no more questions.
Mr. Massey?
Thank you, Your Honor. The last set of transcripts that we looked at, guys or age, for the interrogation and the interview that you were doing,
The last
sixth one,
The sixth one.
that was the last one, right?
Correct.
In that one, Mr. Isabelle said he accidentally shot Danielle.
He did.
Was that the truth? You don't really know, do you?
Yeah. Because you don't accidentally shoot somebody multiple times.
Well, I'm trying to understand how you know what the truth is.
But things that he said that we corroborated.
But before, you said that he said, I shot her.
He did.
Okay. But at the end, he says he accidentally shot her.
Of course. And that's what he said at the end. But that's far from over.
So of course, does that mean that whatever he says you expect is not true?
No. Can't say that because I believe he said when he said he shot her is to be true. And that's true. After later on, he decided to say it was an accident, but he didn't say it the first time when he said he shot her.
Still with us, trial attorney Alexis Rosenberg. Alexis, as the redirect is attempting to say, look, this was for corroboration and getting to the truth, that you handled the interrogation this way, give us your last thoughts on what you think of this witness and what the jury may be thinking.
Well, the redirect was good. He was basically saying if you take everything, we still collaborate, made sure what he was saying with other evidence was accurate. He brought up the Walgreens thing. So I think the witness did very well. I think that the jury is going to believe what the witness was saying, and it's supporting that they didn't think that he crossed that line.
Yeah, I think you're right. And in watching this, I think it's hard sometimes for lay people to see what interrogations can really be like, because you may be empathetic or sympathetic to the defendant that's being asked questions because it's kind of rough. But on the other hand, to hear what comes out of this defendant's mouth, I think that's the part the jury's going to take note of in this case.
I agree with you. They're going to hook on to that because the bottom line was, even if he said it under pressure, I think that the jury is going to believe it doesn't matter. It is the truth under pressure. And that really is why a lot of times when we do have these false confessions, it is because of this. So, I mean, it is a balance, but generally the jury, you know, they like confessions.
Yep, in the last 20 seconds, tell me about the emotional aspect of hearing from him that he tossed this 2-day-old into the Mississippi River. A jury hears that, it may do him in.
I agree with you. I think it's going to do him in. I mean, we have the picture of the baby up. She's very cute. And I mean, just to think that how could a father, a 2-year-old baby, be thrown? How could he do this to his own child? I think is very damaging.
I agree with you. Alexis Rosenberg, thank you, of course, for being on with me today. Coming up, we will bring you more testimony in the Baby in the River murder trial. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott. Thank you so much for joining us this Friday afternoon. A Memphis man is on trial, accused of murdering his girlfriend and their newborn baby. Prosecutors say that Brandon Isabelle shot and killed 27-year-old Danielle Hoyle in February of 2022. Police say that then he took their 2-day-old daughter, Kennedy, and threw her into the Mississippi River. The baby's body was never found, and Isabelle pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. He does face up to life in prison without parole if he is convicted. Let's get you back into that courtroom now. On the stand is Lieutenant Charles Winbush. He did the interrogation of the defendant, and we have been listening to his examination. Right now, he's under recross by the defense.
But the statement appears to be the only direct proof that he shot her.
The statement of him saying he shot?
The statement, yeah. The rest of the circumstantial direct statement, is he saying I shot her?
Yeah, he said he shot her.
Okay. Because you over here, he accidentally shot her at the end.
Yeah, a few hours later, he said it was an accident.
You have a little bit of rest before this?
A little bit.
From their bench?
On the bench, yes.
And we said, earlier in the questioning, that you told him the cap was at the river before he told you. And you found out that the cap was found at there, right?
It could have went that way, yes.
Because you didn't find the baby down there.
No, we did not find the baby.
Other than at the end of 10 hours of questioning, 30-something hours of being up, him saying he threw the baby in the river, what proof do you have the baby was at the river?
Well, the cap that we found at the river had the same print of the gloves from the baby that was in the baby seat that we found at Walmart.
Well, do you know testing was done on the
I do not know.
They would let us know, wouldn't you think? The DNA, right?
He let us know.
Couple other questions, John.
Just have a couple things. He initially said that he shot Danielle because he didn't want the baby, right?
Correct.
Was that kind of early on in the interrogation?
Yes.
So then, some hours later, he says, what about shooting Danielle?
It was an accident.
It was an accident. That's later on, right?
Correct.
Accidentally shooting somebody is like way less bad than shooting someone intentionally. Is that right?
Correct.
You guys didn't coerce him into improving his story a bit, right?
No.
He kind of came up with that on his own as time went on. Is that right?
I think he came up with the whole thing as time went on.
I want to clarify one thing. Mr. Massey was talking about 10 hours of questioning. You guys weren't questioning him for 10 hours.
Correct.
And I know it's not the Marriott, but he can sleep on the bench, and he was in fact sleeping on the bench, was he not?
Correct.
And at the end of that statement, because when we finished that sixth piece that we heard today, that was at about the 7-minute, I can't remember, 7-something minute mark, right?
Yes.
The rest of the time on there, are you guys questioning any more after that?
No.
For those last couple hours, you're just sitting there waiting to be booked or whatever?
Waiting to be transported.
Okay. No further questions.
So there's a difference in saying I shot somebody or I accidentally shot somebody.
Yeah. There's a difference.
So if I'm going to fire my gun out and I'm cleaning it and I walk by Miss Hughes and I think it's unloaded and it didn't boom and I shoot her and you come and ask me, Mr. Massey, why'd you do it? How'd that happen? I shot her. I did, right?
Right. I said, how did it happen though?
It's an accident. And I would have said I shot her first.
Would you?
So which one was it? Was it an accident or was it I shot her first?
Most people I know, they say what the truth is first when they decide to tell it.
You guys didn't tell him the truth from the start, did you?
Why should we have to tell them the truth? Out of everybody out there, the only person who knows what happened is him. So he tells us the truth, right?
No other questions,
Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you.